This week on Bearcat Update, Northwest golf team hosted a tournament. Bearcat volleyball gave the 8th ranked team in the nation a run for their money. We go one-on-one with Morris White, and it gets crazy again in face-off. Bearcat Update starts right now. Welcome to Bearcat Update. I'm Matt Tritton. Bearcat Golf Classic took place last week at the Mazingo Golf Course. Rachel Skaggs has more on how Northwest finished.
The women's golf team competed in the Bearcat Fall Golf Classic this past weekend at Mazingo Lake Golf Course. The team placed third out of 7 teams with a score of 675, behind Nebraska Omaha, who took first with a 642, and Missouri Western, who took second with a 667. As individuals on a par 72 course, Northwest freshman Cassie Lau shot 6 over par in the first round and 10 over par in the second, finishing with a score of 160. That put her in 3rd place. Lau has placed no worse than 4th in 6 Fall Classic events. Jessica Fehrenbach shot a 7 over par in the first round and a 14 over par in the second, finishing with a score of 165, putting her in 6th place. The team travels to Grandview, Missouri this week to compete in the Avila Fall Invitational. You can see those results at the Northwest Missouri website. From Mazingo Lake, I'm Rachel Skaggs with Bearcat Update.
Thanks, Rachel. Northwest Volleyball had a tough task hosting a top 10 team when Central Missouri came to town. Robert Votaw has the highlights.
Last Friday night, Bearcat Volleyball hosted the Central Missouri Jennies, dropping the first 2 games to jump right into Game 3, the Bearcats trailing 5-9. Starting out slow would be the theme for the night, but the Bearcats looking to make a comeback. The games tonight decided point for point. Northwest would score, and UCM would answer right back. Number 22, Sarah Falcone, is going to drive it in for Bearcat win. Right into Game 4, Bearcats trailing again 2-6. Number 14, Whitney Mason, working hard to put a point on the board. The Jennies putting up some major defense right here, but they are no match for Sarah Falcone. She's going to spike it in, and they can't hold on to it. Sarah Falcone led the Cats with 14 kills on the night. The Jennies answer back with a huge block by number 11, Paula Harris. The Cats don't back down, 24-21 going into the final serve. Sarah Falcone again putting the exclamation point on the win for Game 4. Cats going the distance here, jumping right into Game 5. After losing the last 2, the Jennies jump out way ahead in Game 5. Northwest tries to come back, but just can't hold on to it. UCM takes Game 5. Number 22, Sarah Falcone, talks about the focus of the night's games.
We were just very timid. We weren't going after things, and the last 2 games we just picked it up. We really started going to the floor for everything and not letting things drop.
Northwest faces a busy conference schedule this week, facing Mo West, Missouri Southern, Truman, and Washburn. For BCU, I'm Robbie Votaw.
Thanks, Robert. Northwest football traveled to Joplin to take on Missouri Southern last week. They came away with the win, 49-21. That was their 41st straight conference victory. That ties the record set by Northwest from 1997 to 2001. This year's team going to go for that record next week at home against Emporia State. Bearcats tore up Missouri Southern. They had over 500 yards of total offense. Jake Soy put up another 2 touchdowns, and the Bearcats rolled. Quarterback Colin Howard had no time for the Lions at all. The defensive line was in the backfield all game. They had good coverage down the field. Overall, Northwest played very well, few penalties early on, but after that, they took over. 49-21 was the final score. Really, we'll give them 49-14. That last touchdown came late, last minute of the football game. They picked up a fumble, took it back for the Lions. So, we'll just say 49-14. But the Bearcats move on so far undefeated in MIAA play, 4-1 overall on the season. Emporia State coming to town next week. Well, the unsung hero of the atmosphere at those Bearcat games, like next week when Emporia comes to town, has to be the band. Emily Crickle caught up with them to see what it takes.
Without this extraordinary group of individuals, home football games just wouldn't be the same. I talked with Bearcat Marching Band drum major Anna Heights and Shelby Ferguson about practice, game day, and why they are the musical pride of Northwest.
Practice goes from about 4:10 to 5:15 every day, Monday through Friday. Usually practice, we start off with some stretching and warm-ups, then we go into learning drill and usually taking it set by set and along with the music, so that way it's, musically we know where our different moves are, and we're usually putting it all together and just pretty much going top to bottom, so that way we can get ready for our halftime.
I talked with Anna about Bearcat Zone and pregame.
So we basically start with a 9 a.m. rehearsal that starts 4 hours before the football game. We start lining up, getting into uniform, and then we line up side out of Fine Arts and do our march up to Bearcat Zone. We line back up and then we march back into the stadium. Pre-game entails just really getting the crowd pumped up for the football game. We start pumping them up right when we come out of the band tunnel, running, hooping and hollering.
I spoke with Shelby about halftime.
Each game we usually try and switch it up and have a different halftime show. This week has been our preparation for the 16th game. We're adding a third song for the show. We are also learning drill, which takes a few days to learn, but we are always trucking along and getting a lot done.
Dr. Overmeyer, the intern band director, is doing some great things with the band this year. For Bearcat Update, I'm Emily Crickle.
Thanks, Emily. Well, it's time for our first break, but when we come back, we'll go one-on-one with Morris White.